is still quite nice here for anyone's sort of design designs. So interesting to see if anyone tries to kind of rush this out. I think the works at the tempo on it right now if they want to. So now it's play mode as
The dwarves ended up on the TP scoring tile, by the way, which I guess makes sense given the
dwarves ended up on the TP scoring tile, by the way, which I guess makes sense given anyway. It's a little bit. It's been a second to the whole section. TPs this round to finish out their tabs, but next round throughout the it's not actually that big of a difference. So maybe it's well, I just go ahead and claim this very H6 here. Last round, what do you need? 8, 9. I think the lag again too down to start. It's like fire too. He did hear you about the red X. Yeah, so he claims that. Or let's just go ahead with F5. Now the dwarves go percent short. That's interesting. They're trying to claim the last copy of it. Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Although the halflings can't actually fade from this, so. Yeah, this is an interesting sanctuary. I'm sure. The last round. I assume this is Earth 1. Probably Earth 1. Yeah. Earth 1, it also gives him an extra spade at the end of this round. Over there, this has been a great start. And we're going to see if this first games 1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, did this work? I guess we'll see. My volume is way too low. Well, that's something I'm going to have to fix. Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. Well, great. Hey everybody. We've got a game. We're in the middle of a town round. I've been raided. It sounds aggressive and bad, but I guess it's good. It worked. Hey, look at that. Don't you love technology? Okay. 1 second while I set one more thing up here. Anyone just stepping in? The stream is live. Just figuring out one more thing really quickly. And Yeah, Matt, if you can hear me, we think it worked. Thank you for streaming the first part here. I will do my best to not fumble it. Let's see. Well, people seem to be in chat, so we're going to assume it worked here. All right, over to the game. I think you should be actually seeing the screen live now, and just going to go ahead and say somebody message me on Discord if something's broken. Gonna have trouble seeing chat for a bit here, which is less than ideal. Where do we? Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. I may be a little bit delayed responding to chat, but talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Oh, I can see it right here. All right. All right, enough of that. We got some towns coming in. We're in the middle of a town round. It looks like Halai won the race to the 2 key town here. So his position continues to look very good. Excuse me. Max on dwarves won the race to the 2 key town. Halai's position does look very strong. What did we just get for a favorite tile pick there? So Halai locks up water 1. There is chat. Okay. And Max on dwarves with a full power bowl here gets the first priest off to fire. Does some coin conversions. So what else are we seeing here? Obviously, Giants have a town coming in this round as well, as do Darklings. Everybody's hitting the town round pretty well. It looks like Halai probably can't do 2 towns. I guess since he didn't take Fire 2, that's now off the table. But Halai's thinking about where to go next. Yeah, Ghostly. Well pointed out. We've got three spots for dwarves. Dwarves have 9 cult steps they've gotten from sending 3 priests off, which is pretty insane. Max has already won Earth Cult with the help of his favorite tiles here. And I guess that would be and the 2 key town. Maybe a cult bump. I missed whether that happened or not. I only caught part of Matt's stream on the way in. But we do have 3 folks all taking advantage of the Earth Jack rewards. I know that we had coins round 1, and then we've got Earth Spades coming in at the end of this round, going into the next round's round 4 TP round. Oh, Halai with the undo. So no priest to cults after all for him. What's he thinking here? He's catching up on chat, thinking Halai's priest goes to air here. Yep, so Deranged is right there. Listen, Ghostly, it's great to have a favorite faction. Everyone's got to have one. Dwarves are a fun one. I personally prefer halflings to all other factions at all times, often to a fault. You know, some factions just speak to us. All right, and Lord Ibis claims F4 for their ship town. Let's see. Okay, so that looks pretty good for him. Let's see here. Everyone taking advantage of the ship of the town around here. And so it looks like an F4, a double dig here. Is that a double dig? Instead of an upgrade to secure that town. Which makes a lot of sense. Darklings are looking a little coin tight at this point, but have some tiles they can certainly pass on to help with that going into next round. Darklings would love to have another priest here soon too, I think. I think the race to G7 is heating up here. Halai, I think, would love to get over to G7 with either, yes, could do a cheeky bridge here, or more likely a ship upgrade. But if Lord Ibis is able to get to G7 first by land rather than by sea, that could probably be pretty huge for them. Derek KM, you don't have a favorite faction? Surely you have a least favorite, at least. Why does Halai care about G7? I don't know. I was mostly just looking at the map and saying it's brown and it's next to where he currently is. I mean, I guess the standard town that you tend to see on this part of the map for Black faction is F7, G8, and then the yellow here, I7, I8 with a bridge. Getting G7 could cost one dig, but save one bridge, I guess, if you assume that F8 is also possible, which I guess it probably isn't. I think dwarves would probably prioritize that. So don't listen to me. I think if you just look in chat at what Strange is saying, you'll probably get a better sense of it. Oh dear. But in any case, what do we got? Excuse me. Trying not to eat my dinner right into your ears. Give me 1 second here. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, my pleasure. I'm only joking, Drange. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a while since I've casted, and I've actually only played a handful. I think I've played like 2 games in the last month or 2. I've been taking a little bit of a break. But I still do know how to play, and I'm still thrilled to see that there's no Fire and Ice or fan factions in this game, because I still prefer based factions myself. And it's something I can speak a little more knowledgeably about for you all. So we saw dwarves starting to claim some territory up in the north. This map can be really good for dwarves when they get a good start in particular, and when they're not too boxed out of their hexes. And it looks like they do have both of those. Their connection path looks very possible, though giants on one ship could mess up their day a bit. Let's see. And in fact, Klebo has not used his giant stomp yet this round. So we need more action up in the north here. Halai, a couple on his last turn, I believe, was grabbed upgrade trading post to grab the 6 coin town, and is just continuing to build out structures. So Hawaiian Halflings has Water 1 as a scoring favorite, but not Earth 1. It has double econ, and really good board presence going into round 4, I would say. Yeah, indeed, Klebo does bomb dwarves' easiest connection path there. So that looks a bit rough for dwarves. Max seems to have seen it coming, knew exactly what to do next. Went ahead and jumped on the 4 coins and a cold step tile. So the big coins pass tiles have been claimed. Looks like these folks released Darklings past early in order to secure it. Along with, I assume Darkling's going to be taking the coins action going into next round. Have 2 priests for digging. What are Darklings going to do next round? Darklings are on 1 ship, so Darklings have a lot of options going into next round. Looks like dwarves aren't going to have enough power, as far as I can tell, for to open up round 4 with a power action. 2 rounds in a row, Darklings have passed with 3+ workers. Earth 2 looks a bit questionable here, says SJ. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I remember there being a discussion at one point recently about econ favors and early passing or passing with resources. And Yeah, casting doubt on any situation where like the extra econ doesn't get used round over round. Though there are some situations where, if you end up needing all those workers in this case, or all the coins from Fire 3 by, to really have things come together for your game in like round 5 even, could be worth it. Hard to say. Just so hard to know. That's one of the things we love most about this game, right? It's just like the opportunity cost of like every single action is just so hard to think through thoroughly. There's just so many branching options for what to do. We'll see what happens in rounds 4 and 5. If they go 4 TP this round, it's a good way to give themselves some workers late in the game. Yeah, that's a fair point. Darklings could just go wild on the trading post this next round. One thing that I'm curious about. No, never mind. I see that. Forget what I was going to say, but relatedly, there's one copy of Water 1 left. So right now, Halflings and Giants have both locked up Water 1 going into this TP round. So there's one more copy remaining, and either Dwarves or Darklings could be interested in it. They both have a boatload of resources available to them. So I guess the question is either of them going to prioritize it? I would imagine both of them are interested in it. And I also think that Dwarves are likely to be able to get it in second position here, assuming the Darklings do want to snag the coins action. It might be a tough call for Lord Ibis. I'll be curious to see what they do. Because Water 1's going to be a lot of points throughout the rest of the game, I think, for both of these players. And you know what, actually, no, they both have tempo on it. They both could take it first action if they chose to. They both have trading posts on the board, despite having built their sanctuaries. So we'll see. And in any case, we've got Cold Spades coming in. Darklings are getting 1, Dwarves getting 2, and Halflings getting 1 as well. Yeah, so it looks like Lord Ibis is eyeing up that town that I sort of referenced the possibility of. The F7 G8 town to include F8 here. Lord Ibis snags the coin, first action. So will Dwarves prioritize Water 1 here? It could look really good. I mean, they're going to be a little bit coins tight if they do upgrade. Interesting. No. So they secure B3. Was that under threat? I'm not totally sure the value of B3 there. I guess maybe Water 1 isn't the priority that I imagined it to be. Halflings go up on the shipping jack, so they're now threatening G7 here. And it's possible that Darklings don't care. I guess it depends how much of a threat Darklings see Halflings to be here. Because it may be just as good to grab F8 and E9 for Lord Ibis. But look at these resources. 10 workers, 19 coins, 2 priests, trickle of power. Darklings could be settling in for a long round here. It was pointed out earlier that they did pass early a couple times in a row. So they could potentially, if they can get their hands on another priest, even. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the plan's going to be there. I don't know what I would do in their shoes. We've got trading posts this round. We've got some water rewards this round as well, which could be relevant because Darklings could reach the 4-step with a couple of different options, potentially including Water 1 to get a spade going to next round. We got temples next round, and then we got dwellings in the final round. So Lord Ibis is having a long think on what to do with all these resources. In the meantime, there's been a little bit more action in the north here. We've got Giants continuing to build out in that area. So let's see. I wasn't really looking at. I was listening for some of the beginning of the game, but I wasn't really looking at the board, so I don't have it super. I'm not all the way caught up on town planning and positioning here. But it does look like Giants have used their dig this round. Yeah, okay, so Darklings unsurprisingly do take water 1. It looks like Giants have used their dig this round. It's possible that they could use double dig. I don't think they will. I think they'd rather build some trading posts this round. But they're going to have the power for double dig here. Halflings do as well. But in any case, A6 is looking like the best way to complete that town in the north for Claybo and Giants. A6 is also looking very inaccessible to dwarves, as it is a triple dig for them. So in terms of connection path, dwarves are running out of options here. They could go around the south, take I4 on the bottom, and then drop their landscape. Ooh, are landscapes on? Landscapes are not on this game. We do have expansion scoring, which I've forgotten about till this moment. Stronghold Sanctuary scoring. Greatest distance between their stronghold and sanctuaries. But we don't have landscapes. So I think that does it for Dwarves Connection. I don't see any way for them to connect here unless they get A6. Like I point out, that's a triple dig and a very costly one at that. They are playing in a game against some other factions that can compete on network. I think Giants is the most networky of these factions in my eyes. But it looks like Dwarves are content to just keep tunneling, bringing in points that way. Maybe one more. That'll just about do it for them this round. So they got a cult step they can use, and maybe an early pass. Just catching up on chat here. Wow, yeah, halflings passed on using the spade action last round. Wow, what did they pass for? How was that worth it? Yeah, okay, so possible that since Temple is next round, building out trading posts here and then taking Air 1 next round is just as good. So, I mean, at this point, Dwarves do have 2 trading posts on the board. They could burn down some power to take a a 2 workers action here, which would allow them to build 1 more trading post. And then Air 1 next round would net them somewhere between 6 and 8 points for the rest of the game. Which is most of what Water 1 would get them, so that's interesting. Nope, but instead Dwarves pass on to Stronghold Sanctuary bonus. And they're going to have access to coins action first thing next round, or any power action they please, it looks like at this point. What else did I miss here? Yeah, so it's being pointed out in chat that Dwarves connection can be very important in this situation, and at this point, like we pointed out before, is a bit doomed without A6, unless I'm mistaken. But it was also pointed out, I think Ghostly just said that that Dwarves do have a shot at winning potentially 3 cults here. Not a lot of priest production coming up, and not many priest rewards coming off the cults. Possible they could snag a priest action, a priest town. We'll see what the next round brings, but they did get the 2 key town and a bunch of 3 spots, which can only help. Wonder, so Temple for Water 2 next round could be interesting for Dwarves, could help secure them. Okay, wow, lots happening all of a sudden. Could help secure them stronger standing on the cults that they want stronger standing on. But that said, there aren't a lot of other priests going to cults, really. So we'll see what happens. In any case, everyone's building towards their towns here. Plenty of dwellings coming out. A handful of trading posts coming out in this round. It looks like Darklings are going to be able to build 1 more trading post for a town here, if they want to take advantage of this trading post scoring this round. Halflings in a similar position. They're out of coins, but they've got power they can convert. They can, yeah, and there it goes. They build trading posts. So that's enough structures for a town. And we'll see what town hall I goes for. I wonder if it's not coins town. Would that be crazy? That might be a bit crazy. Worker production could be hurting a bit otherwise. But Halai does have access to another natural brown up in the northeast here. Okay. 8-point town, some cult steps. That looks good. Giants have moved not at all on cults. They're on 1 steps all the way across the board. And then Darklings have minimal movement on cults as well. Yep, and as expected, Lord Ibis upgrades get a town. Look at those scores, by the way. Claybo's sitting at 83 going into round 5 here. Lord Ibis now up to 86. Drain saying this is where Earth 2 really helps dwarves. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that was pointed out earlier too. I think you had said the same thing earlier that, being able to build 3 trading posts out this round, it's great for coin income, but does hurt the worker income considerably. So now going to next round with 5, 5 workers and 3 priests sets Darklings up really well for some dwelling building. Slightly awkward because dwelling scoring is round 6 rather, but I'm sure we'll see at least 1 temple and at least 2 dwellings out of Darklings next round. This player is just about out of resources, just about ready to tap out of this round and head into round 5. We do think we're going to be seeing a decent number of temples round 5. So what favorite tiles are folks going to go for? Also, often more relevantly than what favorite tiles are going in a temple round is that we have cult coin income coming off the. Excuse me. Yeah, sure, cult coin income. We'll call it that. I don't know what to call it. Got every priest that these players have sent to the cults by the end of next round will net them 2 additional coins going into round 6. So currently, halflings and dwarves look really good on that front. Giants and Darklings will have some priest play on the next round, but that certainly does incentivize heavier cult play generally. I guess more so in a coin type game, but round 5 or round 4 even can be like you can really exploit that cult bonus, in my opinion. This game is not particularly coin tight, so I don't think people are going to go too crazy and warp their game plan around that. But I'd imagine we could see 1 of Darklings and maybe 1 of Giants priest going cult. And in fact, Darklings take priest action right now to walk up that last slot on the water cult. So, all right, here we go. Into the next round, we've got some digs coming up from the cults. Dwarves transform A4 halfway, set themselves up for town there. Halflings transform A12, makes a lot of sense. So I guess the question is, are we going to see the Halfling Stronghold? I would assume so, right? I think that's a great way to score. Sanctuary Stronghold distance. It looks like that's a pretty good run from H4 to A12 for Halflings if they can pull it off, or even maybe not even all the way to A12. The issue they're going to have is neighbors, so they will need enough coins in order to do an expensive trading post if they don't get neighbors soon enough. If they want to have like a town up there, or if they want to upgrade the stronghold. You love to see halfling stronghold. I'm a big proponent of, or at least I get very excited to see the sort of quote unquote underpowered strongholds. And the halfling stronghold is often not particularly good. It's not great on income. It's not particularly cheap, is it? I've got the player mats very small here so that we can see the favorite tiles. But in any case, not a great stronghold, but very fun to see. More so with landscapes. Anyways, I'll stop blabbing about that. So we've got cult digs down. It looks like Darklings use their cult dig on I6 at the bottom of the map. I wonder if they've got eyes on another town down there, or if I guess they didn't really even have a single dig they didn't have the ability to single dig any of these hexes to black anyhow, so we've got plenty of priest to play around with, certainly. So now Giants, what are Giants looking at here? We haven't paid much attention to Claybo's game. Give me 1 second to just catch up on chat here. Okay. All right, so yeah, seems likely that halflings will build their stronghold on A12 then. Because that would be a greater distance. Well, Giants already have their distance locked in. And then Dwarves, we can kind of get a sense of what the upper limit of their stronghold sanctuary distance is going to be. They look pretty similar. Darklings could do a decent job too, but yeah, I think H4 to A12 would win it. That's worth 18 points for Halai, so it's got to be worth it. Darklings claim I6 here. They look really good on points. I mean, they do have 90 points already. They're sitting on a pass tile that's going to get them anywhere between 4 and 8 VP at the end of this round. Dwarves and halflings are going to have a lot of coins coming in going into the last round here. Dwarves have a lot of resources right now already, so we think that Max may be building a stronghold this round. If that goes on A5, what does that give us for distance? I always hate counting these things out. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Giants are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that might, depending on what happens, that might be a tie for third. Darklings, if they were to build their strongholds, I would imagine wouldn't do it till next round. There doesn't seem to be much reason to do it this round. I want to do it kind of as late as possible, I would imagine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E9 stronghold would be good for tying dwarves and giants on stronghold sanctuary distance. They could get over to like E10, for instance. That would get them a second place to halflings if halflings do decide to span this whole distance. So none of that's quite come into fruition yet, but something that's important to keep an eye on, just like the network race, which currently, who's looking like they're winning network here? It's hard to tell. Dwarves are looking pretty good on network overall, but and they do have a lot of resources left. But Giants just picked up Coins Town, built another trading post to free up more dwellings, and they don't have any. They're both their big buildings are already down, so a lot of the building they're doing for the rest of the game does not look that expensive. Digs and workers are where they're going to struggle the most, but it looks like Claybo's going to be able to upgrade ship one more time this round. Get out a dwelling on A9, certainly, if desired. Could actually upgrade ship twice this round. And then dig down a dwelling elsewhere too. It's tricky. I think there was talk earlier in Matt the Lesser's stream about giants connecting and the potential challenges there. Claybo's going to have to decide pretty soon whether the stronghold is stranded or whether to try to incorporate that. It looks to me like he may just be stranding the stronghold and using it as a scoring. Obviously using it as a dig every round tool, which is very powerful, but also using it as a scoring tool for the final distance. Oh no, that doesn't make any sense. He can't actually get greatest distance points without connecting H3. Oh no. And in chat, it looks like Lord Ibis didn't understand the Fire and Ice scoring. Didn't realize it was the distance between Stronghold Sanctuary, just thought it was the distance. Oh, that's too bad. I don't know. I still really like Darkling's game here. I mean, could lock up a first or second place on Stronghold Sanctuary distance is, I think, achievable for them if they want to. It's a matter of whether it's worth it. But like I said, E10 is sitting there and available. There's also potential access to this bottom right corner here, I9, H8. Darklings have a lot of dwellings on their board that they can still get out, no problem. But it's just a matter of getting neighbors and just generally having the coins to get the stronghold up. Darkling Stronghold is 4 worker, 6 coins, so it's a big investment. I guess it's a matter of, for Lord Ibis, if I'm in Darkling's position right now thinking this through, I'm planning my resources pretty much through the end of the game. Part of that is coin balance, and part of what's going to impact coin income and going into next round is how many trading posts are on the board at the end of this round, as well as how many priests are to cults at the end of this round, because both of those are sources of income. Furthermore, Darklings could prioritize passing early in order to get the coins action and or the 6 coin tile, which is now a 7 coin tile effectively. And in fact, the spade tile is sitting with 4 coins on it as well. So I guess all that said, coins probably aren't the largest issue here for Darklings if prioritizing Stronghold Sanctuary distance. The other consideration is just network, regular old network. So looking at the network race, halflings are going to be connected without a problem. Giants are connected with all their structures except their stronghold currently. I think they've still got a decent amount of network potential. They've got a lot of natural reds potentially available to them, depending on what their shipping looks like. I'd be shocked if Clabo didn't upgrade shipping at least one more time this round. But we'll see what the dig goes as well. It's a little bit of an awkward spot for Giants. But in any case, Dwarves are not connecting this game, but still have a strong economy and a lot of structures down regardless. But stranding 2 structures, that could be relevant for Darkling's considerations as well. Anyways, while I'm talking through what I would do if I were Darklings, Lord Ibis decides to build the dwelling on I8. So no clear signal on what direction they're headed yet, but that could signal going for a greater Stronghold Sanctuary distance. Max says I underestimated how much I would run into Clabo. Yeah, there's a bit of a cluster up in the north here between these 2 factions. It's gotta hurt having your connection cut as dwarves here. It is a bummer to not have landscapes for that reason. I think, in my opinion, dwarves and fakirs are 2 of the factions where landscapes really increase their viability in certain situations. So I guess Fakir's landscape is just generically powerful. They're going to be flying no matter what, and getting 2 coins every time it happens is crazy good. Max says losing connection basically lets me hope for 3rd. I wonder if that's 3rd in connection or 3rd in the game. Hard to say. Dwarves are really trailing on points. I mean, their endgame scoring doesn't look bad because of the because of all the cult position they have, but they've got a ton of resources and a ton of income coming in. But still, they're gonna need to come up with a lot of points from somewhere. They don't have water 1. So I'll be curious to see what Max's game looks like through the end here. I mean, still plenty of tunneling opportunities. Max is, like all of these players, obviously really strong players. Dwarves needed water 1, probably, Ghostly says. Yeah, I was sort of surprised to see them not prioritize that, but maybe they just thought halflings, Darklings weren't going for it. I don't know. All right, so we see an early pass from Darklings onto the ship scoring tile. That's very interesting. So Darklings are going to have a long final round. A lot of opportunities for scoring. They've got 2 scoring favors, and they've got dwellings that they can come out and get out with. And we'll see what they do with all of that. All right, as anticipated, dwarves do build their stronghold on A5. So that ties them on Stronghold Sanctuary distance with giants, which as of right now, would mean they and actually no, Giants would still have to connect, which it looks like Claybo's working towards doing. So as of right now, if Giants do connect, and E3 looks pretty huge for them, looks pretty key for them in doing so, then they will both be tied. I assume halflings and or darklings will be building their strongholds, but I guess that remains to be seen. Some of it for these folks might depend on it might depend for halflings and darklings on whether or not Claybo connects, whether they bother or not to connect to build their strongholds. It may also depend on whether the other one builds their strongholds, which is to say, so if halflings don't build their stronghold, darklings are going to benefit more from building theirs, and vice versa. A lot of early passes, so we do see Halai on halflings passes on to the training post scoring tile. Not too surprising. I mean, that's just going to be 8 points available. At this point, every way of scoring is huge. Dwarves working towards the town in the north. Wonder if they'll take a bridge rather than try to dig A4. Interesting trade-off there. And meanwhile, we've got 2 players knocking on the door of 100 points here. Claybo, as expected, has upgraded shipping and moved over to A9. So Claybo's got one more free dig available this game. One more giant stronghold dig. Other than that, I think it would take a double dig in order to get another one down. Hard digging at this point doesn't look very good. It's just 4 workers for a dig, and Claybo's short on workers. So if Claybo wants a town, it's going to be tricky to both have a town and make connection. That's going to be a lot of the remaining resources here. But he does pass on to the 6 coins. Okay, yeah, so dwarves have a lot of power available. Choose to use the single dig to lock up the bridgeless town in the north. I wonder what they'll go for. The 8 VP town is available, which helps on cults and is just good raw point scoring. Dwarves have a lot of resources, but can always use more workers. And, we've got an undo. So Max did go for the worker town initially, but looks to be reconsidering it. Okay, so he's going to resequence his actions. Take the worker's power action instead as a source of workers. And then presumably still... no, it doesn't have the dig available anymore, so just isn't going to form a town this round without a hard dig. Interesting. Upgrades to a trading post on E8. Okay. Is generous with power. Nobody takes them up on it. And this looks like a pass to me. I'm trying to... Yeah, so... Okay. Well, in any case. Looks like maybe a lot of tunneling for Max next round. I mean, that is a great way to get points. It's going to have hopefully enough power for some digs, but also does pass on to the spade tile. So with Earth 1 and the ability to tunnel cheaply with this strongholds, that's at least 6 point, a 6 point tunnel for dwarves right there, including the Earth 1 points and the dwelling points. So that's an 8 point tunnel there alone. So I don't know. Dwarves have a lot of catching up to do, but we'll see what they're able to do. Sorry, I've been neglecting chat a little bit. Hope you guys are having a nice time without me. Why is Claybo's elo underrating, or is he a big underdog in this league? I would say Claybo, yeah. Claybo at 400 is like insane to me. Claybo's an incredibly strong player. I think previous account was in the number 1 spot or close to it at one point. But everyone has highs and lows, and I don't know. Sometimes if people don't care too much about their elo, it can swing from more experimental play. So, what else? SJ says Klebo's been playing 1v1s and forfeiting on the last move to kill his elo. All right, that's a thing that he can do. That's, it's good to look like an underdog and feel like an underdog, I guess. I mean, hell, my elo's higher than Klebo's right now. It's just wrong. Okay, yeah. So Giants do take the double dig on E3 here. So with enough power that's connection, right? So Giants are going to be able to use their priest and 4 coins that they have in hand to just upgrade shipping, and now they're connected with 9, 10, 11, 12 structures, which is definitely going to be good for some endgame points. Wow, look at these piles of resources. Look at all these hordlings here. But if Klebo gets enough power for a bridge, could conceivably town through G3, F2, E3 over there. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's likely either. But just to say, if another town is in his future, that is where it would be. But Giants with some stronghold sanctuary points, some network points. I don't know, lacking digs for dwellings here. Nah, Klebo's game looks great. Got 3 natural reds available on 3 shipping. Can maybe temple for Air 1. No pass VP off of the bonus tile, but I think Giants' game from here can be ship upgrade, build E1, build D6, build H7 if there's no interruptions. So those are that's 3 4-point dwellings right there, plus a really strong network and maybe an Air 1. I don't know if that's good enough for first place, but it's pretty good. Looking at Darkling's games, the possibilities are kind of endless here. So digging I7 here connects those 2 isolated blacks in the south. I'm looking at that in the pile of resources, and I'm thinking that there's an expensive trading post and a sanctuary coming. Excuse me, an expensive trading post and a stronghold coming. And that there's enough resources to make an isolated town in the bottom there. Although I guess if Klebo does come to H7, there's no need for the expensive trading post. In any case, dwarves are tunneling a lot, picking up a lot of points that way. We don't think it'll quite be enough. And then in terms of Halfling's game, Halflings are lacking Earth 1. So every dwelling they build isn't going to get them as many points. The network doesn't look stellar at this point, does it? But one of my favorite things about Halfling is that they have essentially a built-in scoring mechanism that has some utility too in upgrading digging. And indeed, Helleye does upgrade digging there a second time. It's just so much cheaper for Halflings. It's virtually always worth it. I can't think of really many successful Halfling games I've seen that don't involve dig upgrades. Darkling should build D6. Derange says D6. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, Darkling Sanctuary and I-10. Yeah, what would that look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Oh man, it's hard to count these diagonal slashes for this extra scoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. I9 would be enough to currently win Stronghold Sanctuary scoring. I don't think I10 is necessary for Darklings. And assuming that Giants want to come down to H7, that saves 3 coins. It's possible Lord Ibis has enough coins otherwise, but I think Lord Ibis wants at least 8 of those coins to go towards ship upgrades. So when they do build a town, they could either take a ship town, if one was available, but they could take a priest town, potentially, and then do more ship upgrades. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I don't think I10 is necessary, but I think that Lord Ibis may want H8, which would require a priest or a dig. Having to think about it either way. I thought cutting off Darklings Giants was really good for Darklings. I guess this is Darklings saying they're beating Giants anyways, so estranged. That's interesting. Oh yeah, and then the Stronghold does give priests, so Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Darklings are building on h8. I think they're hoping that Claybo comes down to h7 sooner rather than later. I think Claybo can stall for about 2 moves safely before having to do so, if he chooses to. And then expensive trading post plus stronghold would be 6 workers, 12 coins for Darklings. I guess workers are becoming an issue one way or another. In any case, that's pretty much the game for Darklings. Is going to be building out the rest of this town in the southeast, and then building out the strongholds in order to get the distance scoring. Other than that, potentially the last dwelling could be really valuable. Oh, Claybo, right, Claybo still had a dig left. So builds out C1. Yeah, okay. Claybo didn't need to get to H7 after all. I forgot to count dwellings here. Max continues tunneling, has brought in a good amount of points from tunneling this round, and has enough workers in hand to do one more. Where can they dig to? I guess at this point there's not really many accessible grays, natural grays left, so there's a spade in hand for dwarves, which is another tunnel. They're up over 80 points, but I don't see it for them without connection. Looks like it could be a 4th place for Max. In the meantime, halflings. What if halflings have going on? Still more resources than I can tell what they're going to do with, but it could involve a town in the northeast now that they've got upgraded digging. I imagine it will involve a town in the northeast, and possibly a stronghold, likely a stronghold up on A10. Full power bowl for Hawaii as well. I mean, this has been a great game. These are all such strong players. Dwarves have another town. I missed that. I forgot. So there was an undo that Max had done last round after building a town. But yeah, dwarves right now can even afford single dig to build out that town, and then use the spade on their tile potentially for tunneling purposes. All right, so maybe dwarves aren't out of it after all. We are coming down to it here. Currently, dwarves and giants are tied for 1st place on Stronghold Sanctuary scoring, but it looks like they're going to end up tying for 3rd place, which is not a lot of points. But halflings and darklings do still have to build those structures in order to get there. All right, darklings go for the expensive trading post after all, since they have to in order to get the sanctuary, the stronghold. Excuse me. So it is going to be stronghold, which will leave them with 2 workers, which will become priests. And then I think they do want a ship upgrade. Ship upgrade, a town. I think that priest town looks really good for darklings. They often do. All right, so we got town points for darklings. We got greatest distance scoring points for darklings. Got network points. Wow, yeah, darklings really have put down a lot of structures, haven't they? I'm seeing one more dwelling that they want to get out in addition to the stronghold, which would put them at 14 network to tie giants. This network race is pretty hot here. And halflings come down to E10 with a single dig. I'll admit I did not see that coming. All right, and here comes the town for dwarves. Dwarves delay building their town, which must be a tempo consideration rather than a leech consideration because there's nobody next to A4. So they're not denying any leech with that move. Dwarves are going to be last in network. They do still have Stronghold Sanctuary scoring because those two are connected network-wise, despite having 3 isolated structures on the other side of the map. Darkling's built on I5. That makes a lot of sense. That was the only single dig available to them to turn a Hex black. And it was pretty easily threatened by Halflings with upgraded digs, if Halflings thought they were a threat enough. So that's a nice little move there by Lord Ibis to secure that. Darkling's score does look really good. They are currently in the lead on water track as well. 1 priest town left in the game. There's also 1 8-point town left in the game. So in terms of a lot of these second places on Colts being up for grabs, these towns could be consequential. We expect to see 3 more towns coming in. Giants are the only faction who out of it at this point. In fact, Klebo's already passed. And I guess the resources were just worth more than anything else he could do. That's pretty wild, right? Klebo passed with the ability to build a Water 1 trading post? No trading posts left on his board. Yep, there it is. All right, so there you have it. So there's going to be 14, at least 14 coins worth of resources scoring at the end of the game for him. So that's 4, maybe 5 points if he gets some free leech. Yeah, okay. So the Halflings dig on E10 was just denying Darklings. That makes sense. This map is such a leech orgy. Yeah? Love that. Okay, so yeah, Workers' Town for Darklings. Workers' Town for Darklings does what? Allows them to upgrade their TP and get out. Will that be enough for them to get out 1 more dwelling? Win network? I don't know. I sort of assumed they were going to go for the ship upgrade since they're on the ship scoring tile. Oh yeah, but obviously the Stronghold gives priests. But they would need 2 priests in order to... I don't see it, the Workers' Town. Does the town resolve first, or does the Stronghold resolve first? I guess the Stronghold resolves first, right? So this is only potentially 1 priest from the Stronghold upgrade. And then they get the town. So I'm not sure what 2 workers in a... Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Can someone explain why dwarves would waste a dig on a non-tunnel? Why not a bridge? Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, Act 5, the single dig action is still available. Okay, so town comes first. I straight up didn't know that. I would have somehow guessed that the Stronghold comes first. So in that case, I mean, the Workers' Town's got to be better, right? Yeah, there it goes. Workers' Town. Converts all 3 workers to priests. May as well, right? Can always convert them back. George Short will point out that engineers build bridges, dwarves don't build bridges. That's a good point. Dwarves build tunnels. All right, so Halai is still working towards a town in the north there. Stronghold, what will this be? Does Halai have resources for a town? I mean, he's getting 3 digs for free. Doesn't have a copy of Fire 2. Dwarves and Halflings both ended up with copies of Fire 1, by the way. I managed to not comment on either of those yet. So yeah, at this point, dwarves need to get down a trading post before they can do another tunnel. Because they don't have any dwellings on their board. They have enough for 4, 5, 6, 7. They don't have enough power for both a workers conversion and a dig. So I think that it looks like they're short to me. I don't know if there's any more tunneling. So they send a priest off to fire, presumably trying to lock up first place. To water, trying to lock up first place there over Darklings. Darklings do upgrade shipping. Have enough for one more dig upgrade. And if they get one free leech, they'll have enough for a dig upgrade and a priest dig for 2 points. And then that'll do it for Darklings. This is a pretty monstrous score going into final scoring. And right now, they are sitting in second, tied for first place on network. 3-way tie for first place. Yeah, who's going to actually win network here? Let's see. Also, I should catch up on comments. Yeah, no driller deranged. I wonder if I remember that there was no landscapes. It's always funny to me when there's like a mix and matched expansions situation. I haven't played too many expansions regularly outside of landscapes, and obviously like the mini expansion and variable turn order stuff. But, like landscapes seem to me like a sort of like the first expansion you'd throw in, and then expansion scoring and faction additional factions feel like sort of something you throw in afterwards. So it feels weird to me somehow to have the expansion scoring but not landscapes in. But it looks like that landscapes not being in certainly have hurt dwarves' possibilities this game, and potentially halflings' ability to get a cheaper. I mean, definitely halflings' ability to get a cheaper town here, or perhaps a town at all. But here it comes. Here's the stronghold. So this is now a stronghold and 2 dwellings for a total of 5 power worth of structures. Halai can put 3 digs on C9, turn it brown. But Halai would need to build, dwelling, trading post, another dwelling. There's no resources for that town. That's a real bummer. I wonder if he was thinking that he had the landscape. Okay, Lord Ibis is clarifying that there's a 7 distance between G5 and I9. G5 and I9. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like when all is said and done, Stronghold Sanctuary distance is going to be first place for Halflings for 18, second place for Darklings for 12, and then third place tied for Giants and Dwarves at 6. 6 distance, 3 points apiece, which is not very many points. And as we're getting down to the end of it, so Darklings with a significant lead going into endgame scoring, and with a decent amount of endgame scoring, I think this looks very good for them. Halflings also on 14 network. I think this has got to be Darklings for the win, right? But a 3-way tie for first on network as of right now. And I think that's where it stays based on nobody's got available dwellings left. If Halai hadn't built E10, he would have had this town. Yeah, that block definitely cost him the town. And I mean, might cost him the game, too. That could be the difference between second and what would have been first, or third and what would have been first, even, depending on where everyone finishes up. Yeah, the 4-point pass tile also feels bad given that Brown passed early. That's a really good point. Yeah, this has been an interesting game for sure. Yeah, passing on to the trading post tile, when Halflings passed on to that, I assumed 8 points, definitely, maybe 6, but a little bit of a suboptimal round 6 for Halai here on Halflings, it seems. In any case, here comes the final scoring. Colts being tallied. Yeah, good game to all the players, and thanks to everyone for tuning into this split stream situation here. Thanks for bearing with us. But glad we're able to get covered so that everyone can kind of hang out around the table and talk about the game and watch, and everyone who's able to watch the VODs later. All right, after Colt scoring, Darkland still with a commanding lead. Got Giants picking up 12 from Network, along with Darklings, Halflings. Really nice game from Darklings here. Yeah, okay, so clear second place for Halflings. But that town could have been a swing. I think it's first place for Darklings either way. All the more impressive because Lord Ibis didn't even know how the sounds like was misinformed on what the end game scoring was and potentially how it worked until pretty late in the game. So, Halai says coffee works. Yeah, I gotta say, had 4 cups. Oh my god. For someone sensitive to caffeine like me, 4 cups of coffee would be. You wouldn't want to see me with 4 cups of coffee. Good luck trying to sleep. That's funny. I forget too that Hawaii is. Where are the rest of these players? Wow, 3 of these players are in. Are in Europe, so it's very late over there. Claybo, the only one with sort of a reasonable time for the game. Doping accusations going around in chat. In any case, huge win for Lord Ibis here. Yeah, massive. What's that? A 16-point victory. And then a strong game for the rest of these players too. Dwarves coming up a bit short. Giants having a tough time as the 40 faction as well. But look at that, 18 elo too. Such a strong table. Maybe Claybo's long game here is to just not give his opponents elo when they beat him. Man's got all sorts of stuff up his sleeve. Yeah, really tight across the bottom for third place as well. All right, let's see if there's any interesting stats here. I don't know that I have it together enough to coordinate an end game interview, and I don't know if Lord Ibis is going to want to do it anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, so after 2 weeks, I think Halai had first place last week, if I remember correctly, and I hope I'm not wrong there. So it's already a pretty strong showing. Yeah, this league's coming together. There's so many strong players here. I mean, even the Elos don't quite show the strength of these tables. All right, any interesting stats? Claybo with the 13-minute think time. Impressive. Coins actions. We've got Darklings with 3 coins actions, and Halflings second place despite 0 coins actions. Sometimes a good one to look at. And then what else do we have here? Victory points lost to gain power via structures. Halai gave up 25 VP in order to get Leech. That's insane. How much Leech, though? Probably a lot of Leech. 44. That's not too shabby. Yeah, it looks like Halai did forget about the landscape. Only enough when going A12. Yeah, just a miscount, I guess. In any case, still looking very good at this stage in the league. Minus 25 for Hawaii. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, that's a tough swing. It's a very tough swing. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Again, thanks for sticking around for the split stream. Now we know how raids work, so that's neat. First TMTL raid that we know of. Hope everybody who has been listening in has been enjoying their games if they're playing, and has been enjoying watching games even if they aren't playing. I know I've been enjoying watching them despite not playing. And it'll be interesting to see where the rest of this Premier League goes from here. We've got 2 games in the books and 3 to go. So I think it's Bizzle and Max that have both had their buys. Halai, Lord Ibis, and Claybo all have 1 more week that they have to sit out. where they can't score any tournament points. So we'll see where it goes. I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to log off here. Hope everybody enjoyed, and we will catch you next time.